So calculus is a funny mathematical thing. A lot of people don't like doing it. It's really not great if you're not into it, but it is. On its basics, you take integrals and derivatives of equations to find out information that can be used in other ways, such as like when you integrate, you find the area under a curve, which can be useful for a couple things. What are those things? I don't know, if I'm being honest. But what a derivative is just you take an equation and you take the slope of the tangent line, which is essentially a line that touches the equation, that first equation, in one spot. And so that's funny. So it's just the slope at any particular point. And an integral is just you're reversing the process. So it's going from like a derivative or another equation to what its antiderivative or what you took that derivative from is. But sometimes it's real fun because a lot of the rules that you use for getting the derivative are really long. For example, the rule for like quotients or just a numerator over denominator is the lower the denominator times the derivative of the numerator minus the numerator times the derivative of the denominator all over the denominator squared, which is just really fun sometimes, if we're being honest. And it's just real funky. Once you actually know it, it gets a lot easier. But also, one problem I have with it is how heavily it relies on a prior knowledge of trigonometry. So typically, if you take a calculus in, like, for example, high school, aren't you supposed to get 16? Okay. You typically take a pre-calculus class first, and that wasn't close at all. In that pre-calculus, you'll normally learn about please no, sir. Sir. We have economy. Sir, we have economy. Wait. That is terrifying. I'll go back to my point after I quickly report him. My point is, if you're taking a pre-calc class, one of the last units they go over typically is trigonometry and trigonomic inequalities, which are vital and really dumb important for calculus classes. See, this is where my problem comes from. My pre-calc teacher for that class didn't teach us the trigonomic inequalities. So, on the first week when I took calculus, on the first week of school, we had a test the first day. Not like you see what you know. It's calculus class. It's a class where who would have guessed it? Since it's a college level class, it's a college class. They take it a little bit serious. So on the first day of school, you have a test, and that test is not like haha fun. Dang, burning fire. It's not like here, this is see how I know. It's an actual test. So that was already didn't score well on that when I took it. That was just like it's first day of school, wow thing. But then that Friday, there was another test on pre-calc stuff that was entirely on trigonomic inequalities. Since I didn't know them because my pre-calc teacher didn't teach me, I was in a little bit of a pickle because I didn't know a single one of them. Like now I know them because it was drilled into my head so frequently. Hey, you need to know these, or else you're not going to do well. That I eventually was learned them just through sheer force of, hey, if you don't learn them, you are not going to succeed. And so eventually I got to the point of knowing them like just kidding. Sir, no. Like 1 minus sine squared is equal to cosine squared, and vice versa, 1 minus cosine squared. is equal to sine squared, or sine squared plus cosine squared is equal to 1. And there's a couple other ones with tangent, cotangent, secant, cosecant, which, okay, cosecant and cotangent and secant and that they kind of annoy me a good bit, because when we first learned about them, because we didn't learn any inequalities, all the inequalities, but one of the things we did learn was that, like, cosine is equal to 1 over secant. Not cosecant, not the two cos being together, but 1 over secant, and sine 1 over cosecant. Which just really annoyed me for a long time. I was like, oh, they can't even, they're named after each other, why aren't they together? Of course, I didn't, at the time, realize that it was like that. And all that math does technically work out. So that's real fun. But while taking that pre-calc course, it just made no sense to me. So, eventually, when I do learn these, which was way too far into the semester to help me, I screwed myself over royally with that. It didn't really go right for me. Bro, okay, can you? No, I don't want to burn. Really, both of you. Screw it. You too, and stop it. This map sucks for being in the middle. Can you please have why can't you have died? But eventually, having to use it in calculus, it's at least maybe learn it a lot more, because like the rule for derivative of sine is cosine, and the derivative of cosine is negative sine. So, and tangent is, oh geez, so actually what is it? Oh gosh, I should know this. Oh, that's what it is. It's I'm pretty sure it's secant plus, I should know this. But it's secant plus tangent. It's secant squared plus tangent squared, that's what it is. And yeah. And then the derivative of secant is just secant squared, which is a real fun time, just because it's infinite loops. You've opened that heavy. That I'm not good at PvP. Why is this working? Oh, okay. Also, strength is real funny in this game. Goodbye. Nope. No. Dang, I was doing so well. You know, bulldozer is a funny perk. For those of you who don't know, bulldozer is a perk in this game that when you get a kill, you get strength. And I don't know if you know, strength can like two-shot people sometimes if you just have a sharp one sword, which is a little bit insane. That's why I use this kit that gives you a strength plot and then never use it, which is just real convenient. But back to mathematics. It just sometimes it is what it is, and learn your math, kids. Just all in all, learn your math, kids. If you plan on taking any higher level math, learn trig. That's all I gotta say, essentially. And if you don't plan on taking a higher level math, stop after taking calculus. Learn your trig for a certain amount of time, then forget it. That's all. That's all you gotta do. Sir. Dang, I didn't. My strategy. It was my strategy. What do you mean he got me? My strategy was insane. Well, that's my rant about calculus. Okay, bye.